Hey everyone, it's good to see you. Today I'm really excited because this video is showing you Sol 2.0, which was released a few days ago, and it shows you how to install from scratch, which is how you need to install it, how to uninstall the old version, and then shows you the different graphic settings and what's new in Sol 2.0. And I'm sure you'll agree, this Porsche Cayman is looking gorgeous with the Sol settings on the new Sol 2.0. As ever guys, if you are new here and you do like the channel or like my content, clicking on that subscribe button really helps me to grow the channel. And remember guys, all the links in this video are in the description below, as are a number of other graphic tutorial links. Okay, let's jump in then. Before I go through the differences in Sol 2.0, the first thing we need to do is just go over some of the basics. So apologies if you've already got custom shader patch installed, but if you haven't, this is where you need to get it. And if you have got it installed, you need to be downloading higher than 1.63. So I'm going to download 1.68 here. It's very stable, running fine on my rig. I don't think you'll have any problems with it. And this is just a simple case of, again, dragging and dropping that file into Content Manager and installing it as you normally would. If you've not got Content Manager installed yet, I will drop that link in the description too. Now that we have that installed, let's just click on Settings, Custom Shader Patch, and About and Updates, and just to check what versions we've actually got installed here. So this is 1.68, we've got the little dot next to that, so that is installed. We can check for updates there, and if you are concerned that anything's happened to your patch version for that, you can actually reinstall, and as you can see there, it will go online and reinstall. So that's all working fine. So remember, you need to be above 1.63. The next thing to do is to go to the Sol website on Race Department, Sol 2.0, and I'm just going to download that. It's 219 megabytes. Now once you've downloaded it, drag it onto your desktop and double click on it, and you will see in there you've got a folder called mods. So I'm just going to extract this to my desktop just to show you what's actually in that folder. Once we have that extracted onto your desktop, as I've got here, if you open the folder up, you'll see that there's a Sol 2.0 folder. Now this is really important. There's a Sol uninstall Windows batch file there. So what we're going to do is copy that, and this is really important guys, copy that, and we're going to paste it into your root directory of your Assetto Corsa. So mine's in Steam Library, Steam Apps, Common, Assetto Corsa, and then you're going to be going into this root directory. So just right click anywhere where there's nothing underneath it and paste, and that will just drop into that folder. Now once this is in the folder, you're then going to run it, but you're going to run it as an administrator. So to do that, it's normally right click, run as administrator, and then it'll run a little batch program. It'll ask you to confirm, run a little batch program. I've already run this, so that's why it came up with that message there. And then that will uninstall the old version of Sol. So this is really important that you do this before installing the next version. Now we're ready to copy the new 2.0 version over. So going into the folder, the top 4 folders are the ones that you want to copy. So you right click and copy as per normal, and again we're going to go back to where we were before, into Steam Library, Steam Apps, Common, Assetto Corsa, and that's where your root directory is. So again, right click on some space and click on paste, and that will copy them over. Now it will say it wants to replace some files. Click on yes and replace those files, and that's it. You have the new Sol 2.0 version installed. Now we have it installed, let's just check on a couple of settings. So a really important one is under Settings, Custom Shader Patch, Light and Effects, and we need to make sure the brightness, this slider here, is at 100%. So that may be higher if this is a fresh install for you, so make sure you put it down to 100%. The next setting to check is in Weather Effects. So clicking on Weather Effects, we're looking for the weather script, and here you can see that this is set correctly. It needs to be on Sol 2.0. So this is the actual script that runs all of the weather. It's also worth just checking on what the controller script is on too. So both of those are actually okay. The next setting to change is in Settings, Assetto Corsa and Video, and we're looking for the post-processing filter. I normally use natural mod. I do like that post-processing filter, but for this gameplay and for shooting this video, I'm going to put it on Sol because that is what's recommended. Now the next thing we need to do is go again onto the Sol 2.0 page, and there's a quick fix there from a Dropbox that Peter's put on there that just fixes a couple of bugs in the current version. So what we're going to do is just do a direct download on that, and I'm just going to again download it and then move it onto my desktop. Once on the desktop, again it's just a matter of extracting this raw file, and these are the two folders that you'll get from there. And I've actually extracted these, and these are sat next to the raw file I've got here. Look, so these two files are what's going to come out of that raw file. Again, we're going to copy those, and again we're going to paste them exactly the same place. So that is the root directory of your Assetto Corsa. Steam library, Steam apps, common. You'll get used to doing this, guys. Assetto Corsa, and here you are in the root directory again. Just copy those across, and they will replace some of the files that are already in there, and just click on yes. There's 27 files that's going to replace. All done. So we're nearly ready now to actually run the game. I'm going to be using the Porsche Cayman 718S on this gameplay simply because it's such a fantastic model and the paintwork looks great on it. And I'm going to choose a different track here. I'm actually going to choose the Red Bull Ring. Again, fantastic track, and it has some great lighting effects on there normally. So let's run the game on here. But before we do that, one of the things I am going to change because of the rig that I've got, I'm going to try and put all the eye candy on. So the post-processing filter earlier on that I put onto Sol, I'm going to put onto Sol Extra. I think this will give me the biggest bang for my buck on the post-processing filter, so let's try that. Okay, let's go. Here we are then, the Porsche Cayman looking fantastic in the Red Bull Ring. I'm sure you'll agree that the lighting effects and the graphics on this, even in the winter scene, looks incredible. So what I'm going to do now is just go through and show you some of the different settings and what's different in Sol 2.0 and call those out. So what we need to do first is just bring the config up. Now straight away you'll see that you've got some different things on here. The four areas in the middle are actually the detail settings, and you've got the low, default, high and ultra, and you've also got some night presets. So just resetting at the bottom straight away you'll see what the default settings are. Clicking on ultra again, it changes some of the render distance, it changes the cloud density, and also going through some of these options you'll see there are some different things on here too. There's an option here about whether using lightning effects, and I'll show you the lightning on the game later on. It looks fantastic, and this cloud sky system is really important because I've actually got that on 2, which is the 3D clouds, and you can actually have it on a different version of 3D and a 2D cloud. I do like to just put the blue up a little bit on when I'm using Sol onto number 2, the nice blue. And again, you've got all the different settings here that you can adjust these really as much as you want to suit your system, your monitor and your graphics card. Just as I'm going through these options, and you can see the different settings that are available now in Sol 2.0, just a bit of a call out of some of the changes. So the first thing is there's a new Csp Sky Shader, and I'm sure you can see in the background the sky looks stunning, and later on I'm going to put the sun down and just show you what that looks like. But again, you do need 1.63 or above to use that. The base weather creation has changed, so the way that the weather is formed and the way that the fog is formed is very different. Obviously I showed you the easy to use performance and night presets at the beginning, as well as more custom weather settings and cloud settings, as well as post-processing filter changes. One of the quick tips I'll just shout out here while I'm doing the video, as you can see we have a bit of a winter scene at the moment because the weather is actually set based on the time of year. But an easy way to change it, if you don't want to go back into the main Assetto Corsa settings, is just to change the actual date on the Sol weather piece. So you can see here I can put us straight into spring or summer and everything's green again. I think we'll keep it like that. That looks fantastic. Next thing to do then is to show you some of the different weather effects, and I've done this on a couple of my other videos, and I think it really just gives you a feel of what the clouds and what the weather effects are going to look like now in Sol 2.0. So I'm just going to flick through these and just show you as these develop what the clouds look like. So remember, I've got the full 3D clouds on here, and one of the things I love about Sol is the way it develops the weather as you're watching it. Looks absolutely stunning, and look at the different lighting effect changes on the car and the reflections as well. Looks truly amazing, and this is an amazing piece of work by Peter and the guys that he works with. Again, big shout out to all of the modders, I always say it. Let's keep going then and see how these look. So windy looks pretty cool. Oh, one of the things that you'll see on some of these as well is that there is now audible wind on some of the different weather effects. Now I can't remember hearing that on the old Sol 1.6, but I definitely hear it on here. And when you go up to some of the thunderstorm pieces, not only do you have working lightning and the actual thunderclaps, now you can hear the wind whistling around. You can actually change the ambient effects both outside the car and inside the car, and that's all in the settings as well in Sol, so that's fantastic. Talked earlier on about the fog being changed and the way that that's all put together. Peter will talk about it much better than I will on his installation instructions, but there is a very definite change in the way that this is pulled together, and this fog looks really realistic. I love the way that it changes the lighting effects across everything, including the car. Just calling out the PP filter as well while I show you around these weather effects. This looks fantastic. So this is the Sol Extra version, as I changed it at the beginning. The standard Sol version still looks really good, but I think this version with the maxed out graphic card settings that I've got at the moment looks fantastic, and it really captures these graphical effects. I think it looks brilliant. Also, just to call out that Sol 2.0 now has full integration with the latest preview version of Custom Shader Patch. Now, you've probably seen that in one of my previous videos. That's the one with the full outside rain effects, the amazing puddles on the tarmac. It looks incredible. I'm not going to show it on this video, but that is actually integrated now. So when I go to the thunderstorms and all the rain and lightning here, you'll see there's no rain on the outside, but I will do another video with the latest preview patch and Sol 2.0 just so we can see that all in one go, because I think that's going to look stunning. Well, we've seen quite a lot of weather there, but now we're getting to the interesting ones, and what I want to do is show you the thunderstorms. As I said, the rain ones aren't really going to show you anything exterior on the outside of the car, but the thunderstorms and the clouds and the way that it's all built up and the sound effects, very different on this Sol version. So let's take a look at those. Also, just keep an eye on how the clouds actually move. So there is wind on these clouds too, and if you stand there looking at them for long enough, they will actually move and you'll see them going in one direction. Some move quicker than others, so you can see these moving, for instance, on these light thunderstorms. Looks really realistic. I mean, the amount of work that's gone into this, these guys have done a fantastic job. You can now start to hear as well all the different wind effects. And then clicking on the heavy thunderstorms, we start to actually get the lightning. So take a look and listen to this lightning. I think that really adds to the immersion of this game now. Stunning weather effects. And remember guys, this is still a 7, nearly 8-year-old game. What an amazing transformation these guys have done. And then bringing all the weather back, put it onto squalls, you can see how the sun comes out, the car looks stunning yet again. And now moving through tornado and hurricane, and then into all the snow areas. I'm just going to show you a little bit of those, because these are things you can try yourself and experiment with. You can see how dramatically the scene changes. Now, I'm not racing around the track with this, but I can only imagine how cool it's going to look when you're doing that. So we've gone through most of the weather there, but let me just showcase another great part of this, and that is, and I spoke about it earlier, the way that the sky color changes towards the horizon. So I'm just going to change a couple of settings here and just get the car up close, and then I'm just going to change the time. Now you can see the sun going down here, and that is having a big overall impact, and not only the lighting for the car but for the track. And also look at that sky, it looks fantastic. That is really cool work. And then inside the car, look how beautiful that looks. And then let's bring the sun back up over the horizon and take a look at that. So let's just increase the time a little bit. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. So guys, that is Sol 2.0. I hope you've enjoyed that. It was a little bit of a tutorial and showcase because it's not your standard installation. It's not just a drag and drop in Content Manager. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. And again, remember I upload videos 3 times a week on PC sim racing, mainly Assetto Corsa at the moment. So it would be great to have you on board, clicking on that subscribe button. And if you do like the video, give me a thumbs up. That really helps me with YouTube too. Guys, I'll see you very soon.